Hi, Sudis. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim. Thank you so much for the support. Hope you all are doing great. So I'll be talking so many things here, and I got a comment in the comment section that really got me upset. But you absolutely will see what my response to the comment in the end, right? So I saw, I am going to say this: Black people continue to stay back at home. Let other people, at least for once in their entire life, fight for you because you deserve to be fought for, right? You deserve to get all the rest that you need. Get all of it now. And a brother was talking about how, it's not all about race at this point in time, that it's time for everybody to come together and fix things up. But I am going to say this. At the beginning of in fact, from the beginning of time to this very moment, it has always been all about race. Anybody that says it has not been all about race, you must really be lying to yourself. And at this point in time, even if you put race aside, you personally will be doing it, but other people will not be doing it because this country, America, was built on race, right? And racism. Now, it's just like the way, tell them that this thing is in connection with Black people, even if they are the ones benefiting from it. Trust me, they will vote against their own interests without even making research and all that. DEI and all that. They are the major people benefiting from it. You know something that I am going to say? I am going to say that I love the fact that Black people are saying that their butts at home. Continue to stay at home. Do not save anybody. Not until your instinct says it is time to come out. Let's get into this.
So in light of all of this noise that's being made about a supposed millions people's march that's scheduled on April 5th, I just want to say, Black folk, continue to hold the line and do what you're doing. We are showing them that the most effective form of protest that we can do is to protest with our dollars. The kind of protesting out in the street no longer works. If it ever did, it is not effective. And they are arrogantly demanding that we continue to put our advocacy, our bodies, and our lives on the line and get out in the front line so that we can put targets on our back. Nope, absolutely not. We know that protesting in the streets only serves to make us the targets of police brutality and violence, and also for every wannabe Kyle Rittenhouse to have a go. Oh no, no longer. Not this time. The police will not have an opportunity to gear up like this. Law enforcement is just chomping at the bit to pull out all of their militarized gear to come out and meet Black people should we go out in the street and protest. Law enforcement wants yet another excuse to victimize us, and also to give the bozos in Washington, D.C. an excuse to declare martial law, but we are on to them. This iconic photo was taken in July of 2016 in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. It was during a demonstration protesting the unaliving of Alton Sterling, a Black man and father of 5 who was held down by 2 white Baton Rouge police officers and then unalived. Do you see how the Baton Rouge police are armed and are coming at this courageous, unarmed Black woman, Aisha Evans, who is wearing a sundress and standing there, peaceful, courageous, and zen, as they are coming at her like she is armed with a semi-automatic weapon wrapped in artillery? This is what law enforcement wants to do to us should we go back out in these streets. That's how they want to respond. Because again, they don't view we Black Americans as citizens. They view us as threats. And they are eager to visit violence and unalive us. Nope, not this time. Black people, I am proud of you because collectively, you understand the assignment. There are many more effective ways to.
Okay, I want to take a moment to say thank you to Donald Trump, not out of praise, but out of truth. Because while you rip through every part of this government, tearing down justice, equality, and fairness under the fake excuse of fighting DEI fraud, what you're really doing is confirming what Black folks have been saying for generations. America was built on racism, fueled by fear and sustained by white supremacy. You've exposed it all. The masks are off. The polite racism, the fake allyship, the colorblind lies, it's all gone. Now we see it raw and unfiltered. You're not just targeting policy, you're targeting people. Black people, brown people, marginalized communities. And the wild part, we make up the smallest portion of this country, yet somehow we are the biggest threat to the lie that white supremacy built. That should tell you everything. You're afraid not of violence, not of replacement, but of the power we hold even when we have nothing. You see the way our culture, our brilliance, our resilience, our excellence continues to shape this country, even when it tries to erase us. Donald Trump is just the loudest version of a system that's always been in place. He is the living, breathing proof that this country was never designed with us in mind. And yet, we continue to define it. So thank you, Donald, for exposing what so many tried to deny, for showing the world that the fear of Black greatness is real, for proving that racism isn't in our imagination, it's in the fabric of this nation. And to my people, we don't have to fight to prove our worth. He's doing that for us. All we have to do is stand firm, stay awake, and know that the truth is finally louder than the lie. We are not broken. We are not the problem. We are the evidence of the power that this country can contain. Let that truth ring louder than its hate.
So, Magda, can I ask you a question? How has the conversations changed pre-Trump administration to post-Trump administration? Because I'm sure the conversations around the dinner table used to be, Kamala is this, Joe Biden is that. I can't wait for this crooked leftist administration to leave. We need to get our people in there. We need to get our economy back. We need to get these prices down. We need to get America back from these marginalized immigrants, blah, blah, blah. That was the conversation, right? Hyped up, excited. Let's get the country back. Post-administration, I'm sure the conversation's changed now. I'm sure the eye gazing around the table now is more regretful. I bet the conversations sound a little bit more like this. So what are we going to do about healthcare? What about Social Security? I mean, we got special needs. I mean, we don't have a Department of Education anymore. I mean, I heard him talk about it, but I didn't think he was actually gonna. I'm sorry. No, but he's the best president though. Like, yeah. He's gonna look out for us though. Dang. My brother's struggling with HIV though. They're cutting vaccines. What we gonna do about that? I'm sure it's a lot realer now. I'm sure it's hitting home. And honestly, us as leftists, Democrats, we didn't want this for you. We tried to reach out to you. We tried to tell you, listen, this is not the right decision. I understand you ain't got to like me. Okay, we ain't got to talk to each other. We ain't got to work together. Hey, listen, we good. Trust me, I'm going to be fine. But as a human being, as someone who lives on this soil, who's probably raising a family, maybe you're even single, maybe you built a career, you could be an entrepreneur, or maybe you're fucking homeless, but this is still your country. You still had hope. You still knew that you could go somewhere, have a nice meal, be able to go and attend any school that you wanted to, know that you're not going to be deported just because you look a certain way. This is not about division right now. This is just about humanity. This is about coexisting. This is about being tolerant. This is about being responsible for your actions and taking accountability, something that we don't see from the Trump administration. If we're going to model morals to people, if he's going to be a leader of the free world, He can't be acting like this. Point blank, period, punctuation. This is not leadership. This is dictatorship. There's a difference. He's not doing anything legally. If you're going to shut down, usually when you shut down any agency, there's an announcement about it. There are people who have went into that agency, they've researched that agency, they've come out with a with an understanding what's going on. They go to Congress with those findings. Congress deliberates about those findings. They vote on it, and the institution will either change or be shut down. There is a whole process that takes place. We don't wake up every day finding out that our agencies and things that we depend on are being shut down. We don't wake up anticipating this. As Americans, we deserve a right to know, what are you doing? Why did you shut this down? What is the purpose? Why did you fire me? I was being productive, but what was the purpose of firing me? That's another conversation you're probably having around the table. What are we going to do about our job? You know, there's one thing to have an opinion. There's one thing to take in information and, you know, be like, oh, okay, that sounds interesting. But then there's another thing that just always shuts that down, and that's facts. And I don't understand where we as Americans started to substitute lies with facts. When did we get so fixed on lies? When did we get so fixed on not telling the truth? This was what this nation used to be built on, is a bunch of truth. But soon as truth started to be spoken, at least from us and about our history and stuff, everything got personal. Now it's about money. Now it's about control. Now it's about power. Because all of a sudden, these people are a threat. Again. But we were in the era of truth. Last year, as Cat Williams was saying, well, a couple years ago, I should say, we are in the moment of truth. Truth is coming out everywhere. People are living in their truth. But look what happened. Someone who was not happy living in truth because lies were being buried decided to come up and promote more lies through mainstream media, link up with a bunch of liars and form an echo chamber of a bunch of lies and create this against good people. I mean, yes, we have some of the highest fucking rates of incarceration. I mean, we have some of the highest murder rates because of these fucking guns. There's a whole lot of other things that we need to worry about besides what the fuck is going on right now. But this is what you call a created crisis, because all of this shit could have been prevented. Trump could have came in and been the strong leader that he was. People was ready to work with him. They were ready to go ahead and see what he had planned, coming in with a plan. Like, they were ready. America was actually ready to work with this man again, knowing his first presidency was a disaster. And he never ceased to amaze me. He came in and did exactly what the fuck I thought he was going to do. Destroy this motherfucker. Brick by brick. So, as this happens, I'm hoping, going forward, just take a moment. Say, listen, I understand what you guys are saying. You Trumplicans, okay? Calm it down. But let's listen to the other side. Let's see what they got to say. Because maybe this doesn't make any sense. We should have Social Security. We should be able to have health care. We all want that. We should be able to get an education. We should be able to feed our families, yes. We can figure all of this race shit out later. But right now, we have a country to save. Why? Because we're fucking American citizens. That's the real conversation every person needs to have right now. It's not about whether or not this person's white, black, orange, green, or this immigrant is doing this immigrant is doing that. Like, we don't give a fuck. We have a country to save as a people. We're losing it every day. And that's my message to y'all.
All right, so Melissa says, how does rolling back DEI affect white women? I'm confusion. And it's okay that you're confused. It's a part of the plan that you're actually confused. And that's because people would like to associate DEI with Black people or minorities only. Same exact thing with affirmative action as being assigned to socially Black people or minorities. But that's why people are able to be taken advantage of, because you don't know that white women fit DEI. DEI is all about intersectionality of marginalized groups, right? So part of the marginalized group section is women. It's not the white part, it's the women, right? But the reason why it heavily impacts white women is because in that women's section, you have the majority who has opted to focus on white women the most when it comes down to receiving initiatives that even the playing field on a gender basis, right? Outside of that, very similar to how affirmative action was overturned because Asian Americans didn't think that affirmative action actually impacted them and assisted them. This is also why DEI, misconstruing it to only apply to Black people, helped fed into the Republican narrative that Black people were somehow getting ahead, right? So what are some other things that fall underneath DEI? Breastfeeding rooms at work. I don't know if you knew this or not, but rural areas are considered DEI locations because of the fact that people that come from rural areas will go off and get education. And let's say like doctors and stuff like that, they tend to go back home. So they need more doctors that will go to rural areas. If they're from city places, 9 times out of 10, they're not going to go to rural America. That group of people is also considered DEI. Those that are hearing impaired or have hearing disabilities or difficulties rather. Same exact thing with those that have physical difficulties. Same exact thing with our military personnel. Like DEI covers more than just ethnicity. And that's one thing that the broader United States citizenry needs to understand is that DEI is not just for minority group populations. DEI covers any people group that fits underneath a marginalized people group. That includes those that have dyslexia. And that's what the DOE is there for, to be able to uphold DEI and allow for equal opportunities for those that learn differently than others. So I hope that answers your question, son. Hey, Janaya, you say insane how they expect us to befriend them knowing history. And I think that's kind of the point. They don't know history. That's kind of the point. So when you take a look at misinformation, what I think is a missing piece is that everybody was misinformed, right? So you have white people that weren't informed about the reality of what slavery was and what was actually going on. And they also minimized the degree of horror that these actions were when they are being taught, right? So currently you have, if I'm not mistaken, it was just in the news that there was a school that was teaching that slaves were paid. Like, the misinformation of history is what causes a lot of us to not really know our history well enough. And so Black people know the history just because we are the oppressed group. And the history that we are taught is history that we ourselves created and dispersed amongst ourselves. Whereas white people have been given information from other white people that have diluted the reality and the truth of what's actually going on. And so they feel like, but it wasn't that bad. And by proximity, this app has revealed ways that, and information that they never knew. So on my, if you just read through the comments, there's a lot of white people that are like, we didn't know this. We had no clue about this. Which I would believe is daunting, I guess.
Fine. Nobody else wants to say it? I'll be the bad guy. White people, come April 5th, if you really feel the need to get out there and protest, by all means, I salute you. Get out there and do what you need to do. But here's the thing. For the ones of you with the inherent racist ideology that you're going out there fighting for black people, brown people, or whatever marginalized group of people, you need to stay home because you have an elitist separatist mentality that you need to work on. The ones of you that are ironing your Handmaiden Tales costume and stacking on your blue bracelets, you need to stay the fuck home because this is not a stage show. This is not a play. This is real life. For the ones of you sitting at home practicing kumbaya-ass songs with your friends, you need to stay the fuck home. This is not a musical. This is real life. And the heart of the matter is white people just aren't angry enough. You have no clue.
This is all I got from this video. There is something that I have noticed when it comes to some certain people. When you make a problem or tell them that, it's a black issue, trust me, Republicans and those people will vote directly against their own interests. Because if you look at what happened, you definitely will understand that a majority of them do not even understand that DEI and some other things that they thought black people benefit more from, or they are the ones benefiting the most out of it. You know, when I started talking about DEI, when I started talking about black history, like 3 years ago, 3 years plus ago, and I was like, diversity, equity, and inclusion. I was like, oh, maybe it kind of benefits black people the more. The same thing as affirmative action. That's why, then I really did not understand better, right? I was still like trying to learn and understand. So I was like, why is everybody fighting DEI? Why is everybody fighting affirmative action, right? It's just like Medicare too. Why are people trying to, Obamacare? Why are people trying to, they don't want it? And then I was really, 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 really very interested in finding out, not until I started like reading and all that, only to find out that black people do not even benefit as much as these people. So I was like, wait, do they really know that they are the most, that they benefit more than every other person? Sincerely speaking, I think once you make something look like it is a black thing, forget about it. Every other person will just like, especially them, will be like, oh, no way, it's a black thing. Let's get it. The way Obamacare, they were talking, to my greatest surprise, majority of them do not know that they are using Obamacare. Because it is a black thing, Obamacare, of course, it is for black people. How can it be for white people? And when majority of them when they found out that, they started screaming. Why are you screaming? One thing with some people is that as long as it is not affecting them, it's okay. But if it is affecting them, that is where the problem is. If you were affecting people that look like me, it is okay. I believe that there is need for everybody to stand up and work towards making life better, right? And also, making life better in general for everybody. But one thing I am going to say is that, like Big Brother said, it is not about race. Brother, you actually know that it is about race. Even if black people come out today and still say democracy tomorrow, right? Trust me, in 2 weeks' time, they will still do something that will make you understand that it is about race. If it is not about race, what is it all about? Because they made it clear that we need to preserve our race. Bro, at this point, it is. If you say it is not, I am lying to myself. I know you understand politics real good. Sometimes we'll try to deviate from understanding that, so we'll try to deviate from, bringing race into some certain thing. But the reality is that it is all about race. Now, everybody is looking for a way to see how things will go better. There are also people that are looking for a way, even if it gets better, it will not benefit someone that is like me. Why? Because you do not deserve anything good. Go check that out. I know what I am saying, and it is fact. If they said we know black people or black women they are the only people that have that can do that can amend things that already gone wrong. if they come back tomorrow and amend things, right? Trust me, in another 5 weeks, you will hear another one. You know why? See, it is not because, let me make this thing clear for some people that really do not understand, because there is a comment that I saw on my video. I don't know, it's a white woman that dropped that comment. I wanted to respond to her, but I hope people see the comment. I hope people see that comment and respond to her, because there are some things I do not want to even, I see. She started to saying that I start to see all the black people saying, we are minding our business. We don't care. You all fix your own mess. Imagine if white people had said that during the Civil War. Who caused Civil War? What started Civil War? Right? This is me asking. Then there were light-skinned folks fighting for your freedom. So maybe it is time to repay that. Repay what exactly? Let me understand what my people are going to repay. Right? Oh, and you should care about these leaders and the same type of men who first brought you all here. You don't care. I already started typing to respond, but then I deleted everything because it won't go well. It's either she deletes the comment and my own comment will not be there anymore. Let me tell you something. She was talking about people that brought, you mean people that kidnapped my own people? Repay you people for what? Or you people are supposed to pay black people reparations for all the things you all have cost them. See, I don't know if you are a man or a woman, but you know one thing I want to tell you. I think you should go hospitalforsouls.x. Please go pick a book. I understand that your system is whitewashed. That's why you do not know some certain things. But there is nothing wrong with a self-taught, right? You can teach yourself to learn some certain things. So I will advise you to use Google, because Google is free, and also use your local libraries to read so you get to understand, because that thing you tried saying there is gaslighting, but I will let it slide. This is where I am going to draw the curtain, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye for now.